Hello everybody, this is Athena or AMG Plans on Instagram, and I wanted to help you along, all of you writers that are also stay-at-home moms, just to talk about now that school is ending, summer vacation is beginning, and basically what I already look tired. And basically, if you write, or if you plan, if you do anything big and quiet, mostly quiet, and the times that you have a younger child while they're at school, how are you gonna get that done while they're not in school? First of all, I want to thank, if there are any teachers that are watching, thank you so much for taking care of not only my monster, but the monsters of many other parents. I have seen, especially with the younger kids, I mean every grade I guess has their challenges. I know that as you get older, just being a teenager in general can be hard. But I've seen in my daughter's group, she's in pre-K, and just some of the things in there, while they don't deal with a lot of mental challenges, there are a lot of things that I didn't see before, as I only have one child. Anyway, now that it's the teacher's time off, as much as one can be, I suppose, I'm not a teacher, so I don't know what happens during summer vacation. I'm sure that there are lesson plans, and there is putting together of stuff for next year so that the new group can come in. Anyway, I have some things as a writer, as a planner, as a human who enjoys the quiet, to help you with the quiet, I guess, to be more productive during the quiet times. And I wrote down stuff. So nowadays with technology and everything, we would rather plop them in front of a TV. That's not what I'm trying to do with mine, but boy is it tempting. Basically, when your child has TV time or tablet time, any sort of electronics where, you know, they're in front of, that is a good time for you to write or to brainstorm or to use little index cards, things like that. I know that whenever my daughter was littler, if I would bring out my laptop and bring it into the living room where she was watching TV or something, she would curl right up next to me, and that was it, and demand watching whatever it was then that she was watching that would just make my soul bleed. But now she's more independent. She'll be 5 in August, so she's more independent, and it is easier for her to watch something on TV. Lately it's been Nightmare Before Christmas, which has been great. But it's easier for her to watch something on TV or play with her tablet for a set amount of time. And then, while I'm not in here, I'm still I'm still next to her, or she'll come and sit in here. That's the time for me to do my thing. So if I'm planning, then she can come and sit in here. If I'm writing, I can take my laptop to wherever she is so that at least we can be together. So if she's going to create mischief, at least I can see it. That's really the main reason. Number 2 would be during nap time or quiet time. A lot of my daughter still takes a nap. I want to keep that in place as long as I can, and that's not for my sanity, that's for hers too, because I realize that whenever she doesn't take a nap, she turns into this weird little thing with claws and like green and purple hair, and it's crazy, and I don't like it. And you can tell whenever your child just needs some time, some quiet time, things like that. You can tell. And at that time, even if it's just quiet time and they want you in their bedroom with them or whatever, then you can bring even your phone. I'm recording on my phone, but you can bring even your phone with you. into their room, and they can have quiet time where they can fall asleep, and you can sit there and take notes or actually type on your phone. I know that there are some people that do, or even if you have a tablet or something like that, you can get to work on there. And because it's quiet and you don't have a whole lot of distraction in there, because you don't want distractions for your child, you can get stuff done real easily. Number three is to brainstorm during play dates, or if you are watching other kids while those parents go to work. And a lot of people don't really want, even if you're a younger writer, let's go for this. If you are out of school yourself and you babysit during the summer just to make some extra money to help out some of the adults, then I've noticed, especially with a lot of people nowadays, that they don't want you on your phone or anything while you're watching their child, which I get. However, they don't really follow through themselves on that. Anyway, that would also be a great time to brainstorm. Seriously, like, index cards cost nothing, and they're also really good for whenever you go back to school. Not the point. But you can brainstorm, you can write out some things that'll happen next, you can character develop, you can do a lot of stuff while you're babysitting or even watching your own child. So whenever we go, say that once a week, the idea, for me at least, once a week is to go somewhere, get out of the house and go somewhere. The only problem is that it takes about an hour and a half to go somewhere. So I decide that I will take some stuff with me, and I'm going to still be engaged in doing stuff with my daughter. So if we go to one of the things that I plan to do is go to Legoland in Dallas, and they don't really, not that they don't really have a lot. It's not as big as the one in Florida or in California. They just didn't have the room. It's in a mall. But if she's at the splash pad that's there, then I might write down notes, or at least I'll be thinking in my head of the next scene or scenes and figuring out how they're going to play out while I'm playing with her or while I'm watching her. There's also a climbable, I'm not really sure what it's called. It's basically just a thing like at McDonald's, whenever the play place that's there with the climbies and the slides and everything, they have they have one at Legoland in Dallas, and that is a great way for me to say, hey, I'm gonna sit right here and you go play, and I'm just gonna stay here, and then I will I'll write stuff out. I won't actively be on my phone, because there are some days where we went once and she'll like peek her head out to make sure I'm still there and everything, or she'll come around, she'll give me a hug, and then she'll go back up. While I would like to be intentional with my time with her, I also know that I'm not going up in the playscape with her. It's not going to happen. Number 4 is to write after your kids go to bed. Now, a lot of times, like, my daughter goes to bed at 8:30. I normally go to bed around 10. While that is time for me and my husband, I can also be thinking of scenes that I can write the next day, things like that. I wouldn't suggest that you take time away from whoever your significant other is, unless you tell them, hey, you get to, we'll do this once or twice a week where you watch TV and zone out there, and I'm going to be in my office, or I'm going to bring out the laptop and, we'll zone out together, that kind of thing. Also for me, in between, after dinner and after the dishes gets done, my husband does I cook and my husband does the dishes if he doesn't come home late. And then that time in between, whenever the dishes are done and my daughter goes to bed, that's their time, which is also going to be time for me to come in here and hide, because I won't really have a whole lot of time off usually whenever she goes to school, I have a nice block of 7 hours. Today is the last day for that, and it's not even 7 hours. She gets out at 11:35 today because it's a half day. So anyway, that is also a good time. It's basically find time where you can. Another one, which, while I'm going to be setting an alarm so that I wake up, there is no way in hell I'm going to be waking up any earlier to write. But it is good for some things. My brain hamster doesn't really work at all in the morning. In fact, it needs a good, 4 hours of silence in order to work. But you know what I mean. There are some people that are morning people that work really well in the morning, so it would be easier to get up, especially as a stay-at-home parent, maybe half hour to an hour earlier, because you'd be able to get at least some word sprints in. The time that you had the night before or the day before to brainstorm is a good time to write all that stuff down. Also, writing at bedtime would help to purge your brain of the ideas that you had either the day before or even earlier that day. So there are a lot of things that us as stay-at-home moms can further our writing while our kids are out of school during the summer. Oh. Also, if you have any any group activities, if they go to day camp, if they go and do stuff during the day, that is also a spectacular time to write, to plan, to just be in the quiet. Whew. My daughter is normally very quiet. She isn't a loud kid. In fact, she'll yell whenever it is time to change the movie, like whenever a movie ends. But if she needs to ask a question and we're right next to her, she whispers, and oh my gosh. Or she'll do it in the car. She'll do it behind us, and usually we have the radio going at a good level. It's not really loud. And she'll ask a question, and it's just oh. So yeah. Those are the 5 things that I have just to help you guys along. And it's not just stay-at-home moms, it's stay-at-home dads too. I know that we live about 3.5 hours away from Austin. We used to live in Austin, and it was very progressive in the fact that a lot of dads were staying at home. I would go to a couple of places that were around Austin that dealt mostly, with kids, and there were a lot of dads that were there, which is cool, whatever floats your boat. But I still mostly, especially where we live now, I see a lot of stay-at-home moms. So for the stay-at-home parents who are also writing or planning or doing just creative stuff as an outlet, or because they want to, or because they have to, I don't know. Those are the 5 things that I have for you. I'm so tired. Anyway, if you have any comments, questions, please feel free to put them below. Please also feel free to subscribe, hit the little bell button. That would be great. And I hope you guys have an awesome summer.